The lights dim. The crowd holds its breath. Charlotte Flair stands at the center of the ring, microphone trembling in her hand. What she's about to say will shatter everything the WWE Universe thought they knew. This isn't about championships. This isn't about legacy. This is about a dream that could tear apart the Queen's reign forever. Hollywood is calling. Charlotte Flair might just answer. The name Charlotte Flair doesn't just echo through wrestling arenas. It commands them. Daughter of the legendary Ric Flair, genetically superior, 16-time women's champion. She's done it all. She's conquered every opponent, held every title, and cemented herself as the greatest women's wrestler of this generation. But what happens when greatness isn't enough? What happens when the roar of 50,000 fans can't drown out the whisper of a different dream? For months, rumors have swirled around Charlotte Flair like a storm nobody wanted to acknowledge. Backstage whispers, secret meetings, late-night phone calls with Hollywood agents. The WWE locker room tried to ignore it. Management brushed it off as gossip. But the signs were there, hidden in plain sight. She started missing house shows. Her social media shifted, less wrestling content, more red carpet appearances, magazine interviews where she talked about expanding her brand and exploring new creative avenues. The writing wasn't just on the wall. It was in neon lights flashing a warning nobody wanted to see. And then came that Monday Night Raw, the night everything changed. Charlotte walked out wearing not her ring gear, but a designer dress that screamed Hollywood premiere. Her entrance music hit, but she didn't strut with championship confidence. She moved with purpose, with finality, kind of walk someone takes when they're about to close one door and open another. The microphone felt heavier than any title she'd ever held. WWE Universe, she began, her voice steady but loaded with emotion. I need to tell you something I've been carrying for months, something that's been eating at me every single night I step through those ropes. The arena went silent. You could hear a pin drop in an audience of thousands. I love this business. I love this ring. I love every single one of you. She paused, eyes glistening under the arena lights. But there's something I need to chase, something beyond championships and WrestleMania moments. Hollywood has offered me the lead role in a major action franchise, 3-movie deal, and I. She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to. The crowd erupted not in cheers, but in gasps, boos, and heartbreak. Comment below right now. Do you think Charlotte should leave WWE for Hollywood, or stay and defend her legacy? Behind the curtain, the WWE locker room exploded into chaos. Triple H stormed through the corridors, his face a mask of controlled fury. This wasn't just about losing a top star. This was about Charlotte Flair, the centerpiece of the women's division, potentially walking away during the most critical season of the year. WrestleMania was 8 weeks away. Get her to my office. He barked at a production assistant, who scurried away like his life depended on it. In the women's locker room, reactions were mixed and volatile. Becky Lynch sat in the corner, arms crossed, jaw clenched. She'd fought Charlotte for years. Their rivalry defined an era. She's really going to leave us like this, Becky muttered, though whether it was anger or hurt in her voice was impossible to tell. Rhea Ripley leaned against her locker, a knowing smirk on her face. Hey, Hollywood, huh? Guess the Queen needs a bigger kingdom. Good. Means the throne's up for grabs. But it was Bianca Belair's reaction that cut deepest. She approached the monitor showing Charlotte's promo, her eyes fixed on the screen. She taught me so much, Bianca whispered. I thought we were building something together, the future of this division. And now, the betrayal wasn't just professional, it was personal. Meanwhile, social media became a battlefield within minutes. Hashtag Charlotte2 Hollywood trended worldwide. Fans were divided down the middle. Some supported her ambition. Let the Queen chase her dreams. Others felt abandoned. You can't just walk away from WWE like that. Wrestling journalists scrambled for confirmation. Dave Meltzer reported that Charlotte had been in talks with a major studio for 6 months. Variety confirmed that the role was for a female-led action franchise being compared to John Wick meets Wonder Woman. The money was generational. Wealth $50 million for 3 films. But here's what made it truly shocking. Charlotte hadn't told anyone in WWE management until that very night. No advance warning, no negotiation period. Just a bombshell dropped on live television in front of millions. Triple H's office meeting was tense, voices raised behind closed doors. Security had to be posted outside to keep eavesdroppers away. Sources claim he offered everything: more money, reduced schedule, creative control, even a guaranteed WrestleMania main event. Charlotte reportedly shook her head at every offer. "This isn't about what WWE can give me," she allegedly said. "It's about what I need to prove to myself." The meeting ended with no resolution. Charlotte walked out, leaving WWE officials scrambling to rewrite months of storylines. Tag someone who needs to see this drama unfold. The question burning through everyone's mind was: this a negotiation tactic, or was Charlotte Flair really about to walk away from WWE forever? The following SmackDown was electric with tension. WWE didn't advertise Charlotte's appearance, but everyone knew she'd be there. The parking lot had 3 times the usual media presence, cameras everywhere, reporters shouting questions. The energy was suffocating. Charlotte arrived in a blacked-out SUV, flanked by security, wearing sunglasses despite it being evening. She pushed through the media scrum without a word, her expression unreadable behind designer shades that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. Inside the arena, WWE had made a decision. If Charlotte wanted Hollywood, they'd give her Hollywood. They scheduled a face-to-face segment with Rhea Ripley, the woman many considered Charlotte's successor. The segment was billed as the Queen's final address. The implications were nuclear. When Charlotte's music hit, the crowd's reaction was deafening, a mix of boos, cheers, and genuine emotion. Signs everywhere: "Don't go, Charlotte. Queen of Hollywood, WWE is your home." She walked that ramp like it might be the last time, slow, deliberate, soaking in every second. Rhea Ripley was already in the ring, microphone in hand, Judgment Day flanking her like an army ready for war. "Look who decided to show up," Rhea sneered. "The Queen who wants to become a princess in Hollywood." "You know what I think, Charlotte? I think you're scared." Charlotte's jaw tightened. "Scared of what exactly? Scared of me? Scared of Bianca? Scared of Becky? Scared that your time at the top is over? So you're running away to play pretend in movies where they can use stunt doubles for the hard parts?" Rhea stepped closer. "In WWE, there are no stunt doubles. And you know what else? There are no second chances when you walk out that door." The crowd erupted. This was real tension. It's real emotion bleeding through scripted television. Charlotte's response was ice cold. "You think you can fill my shoes? You think any of you can?" She gestured to the locker room. "I've done more in 5 years than most do in entire careers. I've main evented WrestleMania. I've held championships on every brand. I've carried this division on my back." "Then prove it," Rhea interrupted. "One more match, you and me, next week. If you're really leaving, go out on your back like a real champion should." The challenge hung in the air like smoke. Charlotte's eyes blazed. For a moment, everyone wondered if she'd walk away, if she'd refuse, if Hollywood had already won. And she did something nobody expected. She smiled. Not a friendly smile. A dangerous one. "You want me? You've got me. But when I beat you next week, when I prove I'm still the Queen and I still leave for Hollywood, you'll spend the rest of your career knowing you couldn't stop me." Microphone drop. Charlotte's music hit. The arena exploded. Smash that like button if you're hyped for this match. 7 days later, the match that could end an era. The production quality was cinematic special lighting, dramatic video packages. Hollywood-style entrance for Charlotte, complete with red carpet and paparazzi effects. WWE was leaning into the drama, turning Charlotte's potential departure into the biggest storyline of the year. The bell rang, and these two warriors collided like freight trains. Rhea Ripley brought brutal aggression powerbomb submissions. Her signature intensity turned up to 11. She wasn't just fighting Charlotte Flair. She was fighting for the future of the division. Fighting to prove the women's evolution didn't begin and end with one woman. Charlotte countered with technical perfection honed over 15 years. Every move crisp. Every reversal timed to perfection. This wasn't just a match. It was a masterclass, a reminder of why she's called the Queen. 12 minutes in, both women were exhausted, battered, pouring everything into every strike. Rhea set up for the Riptider finisher, the move that's ended countless careers. She lifted Charlotte, but somehow, impossibly, Charlotte twisted midair, reversed it, and locked in the figure-8 leg lock. The submission hold her father made famous. The move that's ended more matches than anyone can count. Rhea screamed, clawing toward the ropes. The crowd was on their feet. "This is awesome," chants thundered through the arena. The referee kept asking, "Do you quit? Do you quit?" Rhea's hand hovered over the mat. One tap would end it. Her face contorted in agony. She looked at the WrestleMania sign hanging above the ring. Her future, her moment, her destiny. She tapped. Charlotte Flair won. The crowd's reaction was complicated. Respect, sadness, anger, appreciation all mixed together in a deafening roar. Charlotte released the hold and stood in the center of the ring, arms raised, tears streaming down her face. But then, something happened that nobody saw coming. Rhea Ripley stood up, limping, hurt, but standing. She extended her hand. Charlotte stared at it for a long moment. The arena held its breath. She took it. They shook. And Rhea raised Charlotte's arm in victory. "You're in this," Rhea said into a hot microphone. "Go show Hollywood what a real champion looks like." The emotional moment was shattered by Becky Lynch's music hitting. She stormed to the ring, microphone in hand, eyes blazing with that signature fire. "That's it? That's how this ends? You beat Rhea, and you just leave?" Becky's voice cracked with emotion. "After everything we built? After all our wars? You don't get to write the ending alone, Charlotte. WrestleMania, you and me. One last time." Charlotte's eyes went wide. The crowd exploded. WrestleMania, the biggest stage of them, all one final match between the two greatest women's wrestlers of this generation. But would Charlotte accept? Would Hollywood wait? Could she really walk away now? Drop a comment? Should Charlotte face Becky at WrestleMania? The wrestling world waited with bated breath for Charlotte's answer. For 3 days, radio silence. No social media posts. No interviews. No leaks. WWE promoted the potential WrestleMania match anyway, building hype while uncertainty loomed like a storm cloud. Then, on a random Wednesday afternoon, Charlotte posted a video on her Instagram. She sat in what appeared to be a Hollywood hotel room. The sun set, casting golden light through floor-to-ceiling windows. She looked tired but peaceful, resolved. To the WWE Universe, to my family, to everyone who supported me. I've made my decision. The video was viewed 10 million times in the first hour. When I stepped into WWE, I promised I'd be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I've held every title, main evented every show, and lived my father's legacy while building my own. I've given this business everything I have. Pause. Deep breath. But there's a world beyond these ropes. A dream I've had since I was a little girl watching action movies with my dad. Hollywood has offered me something incredible. Chance to do for women in action films what I did for women in wrestling, break barriers. Prove we can headline. Prove we can be the heroes of our own stories. Another pause. Tension was unbearable. So yes, I'm taking the Hollywood role. But Becky, Charlotte looked directly into the camera. You're right. We don't get to write this ending alone. WrestleMania. You and me. It's one last time. And after that, I'm going to make you all proud in a different ring. The wrestling world imploded. WWE immediately confirmed Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for WrestleMania 41, billed as the Queen's farewell. Ticket sales skyrocketed. Social media engagement broke records. This wasn't just a match anymore. It was a cultural moment. But here's the twist that sent shockwaves through the industry. Reports surfaced that WWE and the Hollywood studio had worked out a deal. Charlotte would work a reduced WWE schedule between films, making special appearances, potentially defending a championship at premium events. She wasn't leaving WWE entirely. She was Evolution, the first WWE superstar to successfully bridge wrestling and mainstream Hollywood stardom while still maintaining her wrestling presence. Triple H addressed it in a press conference. Charlotte Flair represents the future of WWE superstars who transcend our industry. We're proud to support her journey and excited to have her represent WWE in Hollywood. The landscape shifted. Suddenly, other wrestlers started getting Hollywood looks. Bianca Belair booked a Netflix series. Rhea Ripley landed a Marvel audition. Charlotte didn't abandon WWE. Ishii opened a door for everyone else to walk through. WrestleMania is coming. Charlotte versus Becky, the Queen's farewell. Will Charlotte go out on top, or will Becky spoil the Hollywood ending? Smash that like button if you want Charlotte to win. Comment your WrestleMania prediction. Subscribe to Ring Legends for more WWE drama. Share this with every wrestling fan you know. The Queen is going Hollywood. First, she's got one more war to win.